In a world beaming with life, there exists a place with great mystery and fortune. A world filled with treacherous dark devours, creatures, and tainted life. But on the surface of this world exists a boy.
No. Exists a man.
Huh?
Oh, it appears I missed that. I mean a man of great wonders, a man who creates worlds himself, a man who uses boulders in honey. What the fuck?
Nah!
Alright, so we're back into the world. We are back with this beautiful, luscious world. I feel like I have to give a recap until what this series is about. I know most of you are beautiful soldiers from the other episodes, but if you're not, basically what's going on here is I'm trying to push the game's limits in a certain way by just playing the game and using stuff that most players don't use or taking advantage of them. Basically focusing on more smaller aspects of the game that are ignored, like the snowball shimmer arena I invented. So a pretty big problem I'm having in this world is because I'm playing the game a lot longer than other players on one run, right? I feel like you start running into problems that the game devs didn't really intend to be there. One of them is going to be biome spread eventually. I'm at 165 hours and I'm not even in hard mode yet. Once we're in hard mode, bro, the biome spread's going to be literally disastrous. But that's not what this video is about. That's not what the problem we're fixing. The problem I'm trying to fix is constant invasions. Okay, you might notice some banners here. The goblins. Usually in most runs, I don't know about you guys, but I only fight 3 goblin invasions, maybe 2 in an entire run. Maybe 3, 4. I don't know. In a 30-hour run, right? Which is, I feel typical for an expert mode. But for this series, I fought 13 of them already, and it's gonna be a constant thing. Especially in hard mode, dude. Oh my gosh. The pirates, the Martians, the pumpkin moon. No, the pumpkin moon doesn't happen automatically, but yeah. The goldfishes. Wait, there's a turtle?
Huh?
Okay, I was just joking about the goldfish. Do they spawn in water? That's actually crazy. So today I want to solve the problem of constant invasions with a little trick I learned. Some mechanics I came up with myself. I did something massive. So we're just going to get right into it. Making a way to remove invasions. First, we got to know how spawning actually works in this game. So I did some research. I was watching some Chippy Gaming. He was playing with the creator of the game, and the creator of the game, Red, said this.
If you just make an open space, WorldGen's just gonna put more treasure there. And just because it's an open space, it's gonna spawn more creatures.
Enemies spawn more often in open areas. My first thought was if I go up in the air and I place a few blocks to the left of me off my screen, I could get the entire invasion to spawn in one point and die instantly. And if we had Shimmer below them with projectiles sitting in it, that would remove the invasion pretty much instantly. Problem with that? That's a small space. Even though that's the only spot they can spawn, they're hardly spawning there. That's not how the game works. So I had to scrap any ideas with small spaces. Also, the projectiles will disappear after a certain time frame or if they hit an enemy enough times. So we would need to find a projectile that has infinite pierce. Boulders. So boulders, we all know, do an insane amount of damage. They are one of the strongest things in the game, but more specifically, the best part about them is they have infinite pierce, which in human terms means they never break, no matter how many mobs they hit. Of course, if they hit a wall, they break, but that's why we're doing what we're doing here. Let me show you how to buff the boulder. So if I place a cactus right here, watch what happens. 200 damage. It doesn't kill me. Not only that, but the actual lifespan of this cactus is pretty short. I mean, that didn't last very long at all. But when you place boulders in honey, this is an impossible barrier to get past. And look what happens when it hits me. This is insane. This is huge. It infinitely increases the damage. It's just guaranteed to kill anything in its path. Instead of normal boulders, which just go right past an enemy after hitting them once. So I'm not going to spawn any mobs in here and show you guys how it works on mobs, because we're going to save that for when the arena's actually done. But yeah, it just literally breaks boulders so much, which will work perfectly with the needed open area that we're going to have. So we're going to have honey all across our arena and boulders that are absolutely broken going past. Impenetrable boulders. Look at this. Look at that. 400 damage, 400 damage, 400 damage. Alright, so I made the scaffolding of this place, and I'm starting to think maybe we should go for a fully cartoony style. I'm gonna make cartoon mushrooms and stuff. But maybe the floor should also be cartoony. Let's get our freaking frog summoned, always forget. Should that be the floor instead of normal dirt? It would look pretty cartoony. Wait! Yeah, so like a striped lawn like that could look pretty good. I think we're gonna go for the fully cartoon vibe, I think. So I'm gonna actually replace all the ground with bubble blocks. But this is not just gonna be like an efficiency mechanic project. This is gonna be like one of the biggest building projects I'm gonna do. Well, it's probably gonna be done this episode for sure. But I want this to be like really good looking, really cool. I've been like really into like the Fortnite art style recently. Or like the Plants vs. Zombies art style. You know, the Garden Warfare version. Hyper-realistic cartoon stuff. I've been really into recently, so like, I think that's what I'm gonna do with this place. So unfortunately, a problem that happened is once I replaced the dirt blocks with the bubble blocks painted brown, you could actually see through them. Like before, the dirt would make everything below it black, but now I had to fill in this entire area, which took like so freaking long. And it costs a lot of money to buy bubble blocks, by the way, and all the paint for this. So I resorted to geo-AFKing at my statues. It's not a good farming method, but it's AFKable, so that's why I was doing it. While making the floor, imagine this, right? Imagine a painting. Paintings are very much like Terraria. If you draw a flat horizon line in the middle, that's where the character stands. The only difference is that the bottom of the screen is normally black in Terraria, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build in the blackness, which should look like stuff in the foreground of a painting, if that makes sense. So that was the idea with these little honey pools I started making. And to get all the honey, by the way, honey duping is extremely slow. So there's literally no way I can ever fill this arena with honey or these puddles in the foreground with honey. Unless somehow I magically got like 1,000,000 buckets. And to be honest, I don't know if an infinite honey bucket's a thing in this game or not. But I did have an idea to get infinite honey. Hold up, I'm gonna make a honey farm. Wait, I just thought of that. If we grab water pumps and we duplicate water next to shimmer, we can keep grabbing it and shimmering it into honey. I remember having like 90 buckets, but I'm not sure where they went. Where is my cholesterol?
What?
Oh, we have 900 iron in here from shimmering anvils. Perfect. How many buckets can we make with that? Alright, genuinely, I feel like we needed that many. So I'm no professional at this, but to duplicate water automatically, I think all you need is 2 pumps and then a long platform, about like 30 blocks long. And if you hook it up to a timer, it's gonna squirt the water like back and forth between both pumps. And each time a little bit of water will leak out the side with that little nice sound effect right there. And then I can just sit here still, grabbing water, bring it over to the shimmer, which I have blocked off, unfortunately. But you throw in your water, it becomes lava, you throw in the lava, and it becomes honey. So with that done, I was able to start filling up these holes. And unfortunately, because I'm using balloon blocks, I can't really add too much detail here. And it's not really a big deal anyways. I'm not really sure how these are supposed to look. But I think just having these like holes here filled with honey is a nice little detail, you know? At the bottom of the screen, hey, why not? But this is when I discovered a very serious problem. The reason we can have these holes here and have it not spawn enemies inside of them is because mobs don't spawn in honey. They can't spawn in any liquid. So do you see a potential problem that's arising? If we're gonna cover our arena in honey for the boulders, mobs can't spawn in our arena. So I had to do some digging, some research to find if there's any way around this. And what I mean by that is I just sat in a world and basically tested, and I found out it takes at least 1 full block of honey to prevent a mob from spawning. But to just slow down a boulder, it takes less than a full block of honey. So if we just fill it up pretty close to a full block, but not fully, we'll get slow boulders and mobs can spawn in the honey. So now with the base part of the arena done and the honey in, I went to make the boulder chamber. And actually, I started testing with some building designs. Not inspired by any game whatsoever. Okay, that one was inspired, but this one isn't. Okay, they're both from Fortnite. So the way the arena works is I just have a bunch of boulders here on the side, which are going to be dispensed out at 15-second intervals, I believe. Which means always, constantly, there will be boulders on my screen, because it takes them so long to get to the other side that a new batch is just always ready. Also, a pretty big problem is we don't want to be getting hit by the boulders. But we also don't want to make a platform, because then the mobs are going to spawn there, and they won't get hit by the boulders either. So what I found, or I think is true, is if you place tables, you can stand on them above the boulders. But I don't think mobs can spawn on tables. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, the mob AI can't even jump when standing on a table automatically. Like, they get confused. So I feel like they also probably can't spawn there. I don't really know, though. Bro, another slime event? Bro, guys, I've been cutting this out, but this is the 4th invasion that's happened while I've been building this. Bro, a goblin army's approaching. Really? Oh Oh, it's raining slimes, dude. Another event. This one's really not a problem, though, but... Bro, another slime event? This is why we're building this. This is the exact reason. Oh my gosh, you know what I just realized? King Slime can't go beneath tables. Did you guys see that? Look, he's on a table, I go beneath it. He doesn't go beneath it. Wait, you know what that means? Hold up, we just discovered tech. Wait, this is like a revolutionizing freaking mechanic I think I just discovered. So if we just put some tables, hold up. We just put some tables like that. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. He's gonna kill us because we're being stupid. Wait, now he's going through the tables. Wait, yeah, he can. Wait, why was he not earlier? Just being a weirdo over here. Alright, so the arena is slowly but surely becoming done, but we still have to make these like mushroom tree things. And as I started to make them look like mushrooms, I started running into some problems. My building capabilities do not match what is required for these mushrooms. Bro, why does it look like this? I was really trying to make them look 3D-ish, but I was just struggling so much. So I ended up just replacing them with trees instead. Coming up with some pretty simple designs for like cartoon trees, which I think look good. Kind of like birch trees, but pine trees, and then just like a mixture of like the Lorax trees type of deal. But it looked pretty like static and empty. When if you look at my town, I have these like black background walls and stuff to make it look really full. So I wanted to do the same thing with the trees, so I just added like smaller ones beneath it, which kind of just like fills it all in. And I just used like a white painted fence, which looks like a tree. Alright guys, so you might notice I sound very different, and it's because my mic broke, and I'm now using a different mic. It's gonna be multiple weeks until I get my new one. I do recognize I sound a little bit funny, but, I mean, we gotta lock in, alright? It's not funny, lock in. This is how I'm gonna sound the rest of the video, and maybe my next video too, I don't know. So in this arena, I want an area to place banners too. That's really gonna make this like arena extra good. So I was originally thinking we could have a platform like above my head. So I decided to make a mushroom. I think something like that could work. Just a big mushroom in the middle. It went perfectly last time, so I mean, why don't we just make a bigger one? So to make this mushroom, I needed a background wall, and I found this wall right here, Squiggles Wallpaper, which is actually a Christmas wallpaper, and I thought it'd be perfect for the mushroom. It's actually very similar to the mushroom texture, only it just looks more creamy and smooth and nice to look at. As long as you don't work in an office job and you imagine this as an office wallpaper, then I think it'll work perfectly. Only problem is, I didn't really buy much during Christmas because I didn't think I'd need Squiggles wallpaper. So I sparingly had to try to make this work for a mushroom stalk. But it turned out pretty good. I actually didn't need that much. So then for the rest of the mushroom, I just filled it all in, except I left little holes inside of the mushroom, which I thought was a nice way of doing detail instead of just painting everything. However, we're going to be using this on the Goblin Army quite a bit. And the Goblin Army has an enemy that can teleport near the player. And where do you think they're going to teleport to? I wonder. Maybe in this giant mushroom, which now has holes in it. But we don't know if that's actually going to be a problem. I don't know. Now, another thing I did is I added another boulder chamber, because just why not? Technically, this whole arena can work with just a single boulder. I mean, that's how OP Honey is. It guarantees that the mob it's hitting will be killed by the boulder. But just in case the mob jumps over the boulder, I want to have more of them. So a really interesting thing about this whole entire arena is that you might notice I didn't build it as spawn, and you might think, bro, invasions only spawn as spawn, you're cooked. And you're right, so I just scrapped this entire video and I deleted my world. NPCs also work, which is what we have to do to make this arena functioning. What we have to do is put an NPC above this arena, and you can put it pretty far away to actually still activate the arena, which is strange. And this method of needing an NPC to activate the invasion gave me a very good idea. Alright, so I just added a switch to turn off the invasion just now. Basically, if you don't want the invasion to keep coming, click that, and the invasion will no longer come. Let me show you why. You'll notice there is a teleporter beneath this dude's house now, and he's missing. Where could he have gone? Just follow this wire right up here. We sent him directly into the space biome. I didn't know where to teleport him, so I just have him, his ass is caged up right here.
Oh, hell no!
And basically, because we teleported him away from the invasion, no more enemies can spawn here. I thought it was just like a perfect place for him too, because that area is so like industrial, like a bunch of weird mechanisms there. You know, I have extractinators, statue farms. I was like, yeah, we could have a caged up jelly, you know. So yeah, as you can see, when I turn this on, the invasion will spawn automatically. And then when I turn it off, it takes a few seconds, but it despawns. Of course, if you're just a little confused, it doesn't actually get rid of the invasion. They just don't spawn on you until you're near NPCs. So I still need the arena to kill them. Is the map the only spot we could watch this happen? Okay. I'll zoom out a bit. Ooh. This place looks cool at night. Oh, a dude teleported on me. Another dude teleported, but he died. Another dude teleported, but he died. Another one teleported, but he died. Oh, it seems like they don't really teleport up top. They teleport more like under my tables. They can't teleport on the tables. I just realized. Oh my gosh, 62% already? Oh, he got knocked on the table. No, that's cheating. That's genuinely cheating. Alright, I mean, this place looks so bright at night. I did not know it was this bright. This is sick. Alright, so the invasion is... Oh my goodness. Oh! Got the chunks of the enemies on my freaking platform. Alright, 99%. It's over. Let's spawn another one. Oh my god! So yeah, all my worries about the dudes teleporting in the mushroom, not true. They can basically only spawn beneath me, or on these. I guess the trees in the mushroom is just too out of range for them. So this arena is literally perfect. But I want to show you exactly how the boulders work on enemies, just to really like show you how good it is. Because it's very hard to tell in this arena, especially at nighttime. So right here we have a boulder versus a normal zombie in pre-hard mode. Watch what happens. It hits twice, doesn't even kill a pre-hard mode zombie. That's like embarrassing. Is that not embarrassing? And you can even test it on more of them. This is always the case. But now you put it in honey, and watch what happens. Of course they die. But I don't think this method actually shines in pre-hard mode. It shines in hard mode. And pre-hard mode mobs are so weak anyways, this is not like that insane of tech. But in hard mode, notice how a normal boulder doesn't do much to a hard mode mob, but a honey boulder versus a hard mode mob. Okay, he's running from it. He's literally running. That's not really fair. The platform we have is way longer, so like it'll definitely kill him. Does bro know like the boulder's coming at him? Why does he keep running from it? Alright, here we are. He's walking into it, yep, and then he just gets destroyed. So in hard mode where mobs have way more HP, it's really gonna show how good the boulders are. Same with the snowball arena I made last episode. It's kind of overkill for the old one's army in pre-hard mode because they're not that strong anyways. But once you get into hard mode where the mobs are way stronger, it's gonna show how much the snowballs are actually helping you fight. So we're kind of playing the long game with some of these things we're building in our world. But yeah, this arena is a huge success. I decided to just fight random goblin armies to see if maybe they were good for farming money. And I timed it. It takes about a minute and a half per invasion to wipe out. Somewhere between like a minute and a half with this arena, which is perfectly good for me. I don't get invasions that often where I need to kill them in 10 seconds or something. But they only give you about 10 gold, so not the best. It's just a way to get rid of the invasion, basically, in a very fun way with cool mechanics that I learned myself. I love this so much. It's like the little things in Terraria, like the little game knowledge. Having just enough honey to slow a boulder, but not enough to prevent a mob from despawning or not being able to spawn. Having tables so enemies can't spawn on it and they only spawn in the honey, but you have a platform to walk on. Like, it's just the little stuff, dude. And now the boulders are buffed too because they're moving slowly. And then you got the slime in the sky. Dude, I could glaze myself all day, but I'll stop right there. Just continue to glaze me in the comments, please.
What?
But yeah, Honey Boulder Arena concluded. This game has one of the strangest mechanics I've ever discovered, and I just discovered it recently. It is the most bizarre, random, overpowered, and just strange, unnecessary mechanic I've ever found on the Terraria wiki. And that is every time the Eater of Worlds or the Brain of Confusion, Brain of Cthulhu are killed, there is a 50% chance that a meteor will land that night. That is the strangest mechanic ever. I can understand, like, when you first kill it, you want the meteor to land the day after, but every single time you kill it, there's a 50% chance a meteor will land right after. Very weird mechanic, but I think we could take advantage of it. We're gonna make a meteorite farm. So how is this gonna work? Basically, we have a method of making meteors land, but we don't have a way to actually harvest the meteor. It's just gonna land randomly in our world, and that's not very efficient. But we can take use of this little mechanic I learned from watching a Chief Logan video. Meatballs, when they land, purposefully avoid things like chests, mannequin, and coat racks, because the game devs obviously don't want these meteors to hit your houses and stuff. So they were so thoughtful to make the meteors avoid anything that would be in a house, right? Even NPCs and pylons. So we're gonna abuse their trust, and we're gonna use this to funnel a meteor down to a single point, which means we have to place coat racks all across our world. Now, I first started doing this in my space biome, which looked insanely ugly. There we go, I guess. And I was pretty upset. Alright, I think that's perfectly protected now. So stupid. This is so stupid. But I eventually remembered, meteors also don't land in the middle of the world. So my entire space biome right now, unless we expand it out, is completely safe. Thank God. Because it just completely ruined the immersion of my freaking base. Unfortunately, Honey Valley, though, was not as fortunate. I probably need a chest right there. I use chests, though, which are kind of hidden, so it's not a big deal. Also, once we get echo coding, we can just cover those up, so that'll be fine. And actually, in the new Terraria update, they're adding echo coding to pre-hard mode, so we'll get it very soon. We probably need one of these, like, pretty high up, so just to be safe. And then I started the grueling process of covering the entire world with these things. Also, this platform up here has to go. It can also spawn on this, I think. Better to be safe than sorry, so I'm placing way more of these than I need to. My only problem is, like, everything above level 0 is fair game. So, like, it might try to spawn in, like, a crevice. You know what I mean? That's about 60 blocks away. Alright, here's one of the meatballs we never mined up. We'll have to mine that up. So the Skeletron Arena is extremely in the way, so I had to take a very long time to remove it. I don't know how meteor spawns actually work exactly. Can they spawn in the middle of the air, landing on platforms? I don't know. But just in case, I got rid of the entire thing, which took a very long time. And then I finished up the right side of the world, just placing these hat racks, even in the ocean, of course. Making sure to get some skylines as well. And then I proceeded to the left side of the map, which I decided I'm going to show you slightly, just so you can understand how grueling of a process this really was. I mean, if I just cut and the entire left side of the map was just covered in hat racks, that'd be a little weird, wouldn't it? So yeah, just, you know, keep looking for a few more seconds as I place these final racks, even in the ocean, once again. How have I not looted my ocean yet? Yeah, and somehow we didn't loot this ocean yet, which is crazy. That is insane. Also, while making this arena, I found a freaking temple. For the first time after like 200 hours on this world. Crazy. Crazy stuff. We're just getting to it, I guess. The fuck you looking at? So I realized I skipped over many skylines on my way, so I went back and made sure those were like protected. Alright. World is now meatball proof. I think. But if we missed a spot, it's gonna get destroyed with the meatball. So now we have to decide where we want the meatball to land. I think probably just somewhere like in the desert. Maybe like right up here would be good for a meatball landing zone. It should only be able to land here. There's no reason it could land anywhere else. All right, so what happens if we just make a platform up here? Meatball should land up here. So let's just get rid of this other meatball, I guess. Just start removing it. So something I didn't mention yet is that in a Terraria world, a Terraria large world specifically, there can only be 800 pieces of meteorite placed in your world before meteors will just stop spawning. So to actually reactivate meteors dropping in our world, we have to remove this one, which unfortunately is extremely annoying because they removed the feature of being able to bomb meteors, so I have to slowly chip away at it. And these meteor heads are overpowered. Those meatballs do way too much damage for like how puny they are. Genuinely, like let me let one hit me. Bro, I have molten armor. So now the only place in the entire game one should be able to drop is right here. So it should just land here. Now, to actually get it to land here, we need to kill either the brain or the eater worlds multiple times. So now we have to make an area to kill them quick. And I have the perfect strategy. Honey boulders. I used the bouncy boulders on the eater worlds and it destroyed him, but those aren't renewable. Honey boulders, though, that's extremely renewable and honestly better than bouncy boulders. So I think we can just like make an eater worlds farm and just keep destroying it, which should just spam meteors in our world. And they can only land right here. Also, to make the Eater World summon, it's not easy. You need like vile mushrooms, which I have 8. So I can make like 1 summon. But you also need rotten chunks. I have none. Well, I think I'm farming them in my space biome. My world's corruption, but yeah, I have an Eater World's little dude up there. Okay, 500 rotten chunks. I thought we would have some. Yeah, so we have plenty of rotten chunks, and we're just going to keep getting more every time we use this. So that means we just need to make a vile mushroom farm. Alright, I can do that. It's annoying. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Wait, I just realized something immaculate. This shimmers into the powder we need, right? I hope so, because I'm buying a lot here, aren't I? Let's just try that out. I'm pretty sure. Oh my god. So it turns out it's actually pretty difficult to get the ingredients to spawn the Eater worlds when you're in a Crimson world. I thought you could just shimmer the powder into the corrupted powder, but no, that doesn't work. But by spawning a Blood Moon, I can buy the Vicious powder, which allows me to summon the Brain. So I guess we can't use the Honey Boulder Eater world strategy. We just have to fight the Brain instead because we're able to. But we still have to farm vertebrae to actually spawn this thing a bunch. Because the plan is I want to be able to have infinite summons, which will guarantee me infinite meatballs to land in my world. So I tried the Honey Boulder strat on the Brain, and I realized he just sucks. So we don't even need Honey Boulder to take this dude out. I had no idea he was so easy. Took me like a minute to kill him. As for the vertebrae, to get them, I used a trick I learned a few episodes ago in the sky to farm banners. Basically, if you just build all the way up and make a platform and put some corrupted sand on it, even though it's not a crimson biome, the corrupted sand causes only crimson enemies to spawn there. And I can just sit right under it with some lava above, and literally, I have a vertebrae farm now. And nothing can even touch me either, because they can only spawn above me. So now we basically have infinite brain summons, giving us a 50% chance that a meatball will land every time I kill one. And now we can test whether this meatball lands where we want it to or not. All right, so right about now, it should happen. Here we go. Boom! Okay, we got the lucky 50%. Spoiler alert, it didn't.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Hey guys, back on the new mic. So the meatball landed in a tree, which means obviously we forgot to like patch that area up. Also, I noticed we didn't get much meteorite because of the way the meteor landed, which made me realize my platform is probably not good enough to catch this meteor. But anyways, I kept trying, and these meteors just kept missing and landing in the most crazy spots they could. Like, if any single block was not covered, it was trying to land there. Oh my gosh, don't tell me this hole. Oh my gosh! Maybe it did go down here? No. Oh yeah! Whoa! It was finding every hole it could, bro. And I also found out I had 2 more sky islands on my world that I had yet to discover. The meatballs didn't land there, but the fact that I still had unexplored islands on this world, and an unexplored temple, and an unlooted ocean, with 200 hours on the world. Also, we have 9 sky islands on this world. I thought 6 was the max, but I have 9, so I don't know. So every time I kept breaking these and then trying to respawn these meteors, but at a point, what happened is I got 2 meteors one night, but I only ever found 1. And I searched for like an hour. And once I tried to spawn more meteors, nothing was happening. Now this was the point where I had the most uncertainty. Was there a meteor in my world somewhere preventing more meteors from landing that I just couldn't find? Were we just getting unlucky and getting the unlucky 50% every time we killed the brain? Or did the world just have no valid spots to drop a meteor? So I figured it was my platform not being big enough, so I thickened it up, just so it would have enough area to actually land maybe, and I fought this dude one more time. Oh, fast meatball. And it landed there. Let's go! Let's go! We harvested the meatball, and we now have a meatball catcher. Oh my goodness, dude, let's go. Let's go investigate. Investigate its landage. I had to do multiple more hours of testing to try to get this thing, like, landing properly. The only spot in the world that can land is right there, but to catch all the meteorite was a big struggle. I was trying to find, like, the smallest area it could work, and it kept just destroying my stuff every single time. And by the way, every time a meteor misses the point, I have to mine it all up and then replace it. Oh my gosh! Which can be a little troublesome, but by placing chests on either side of this thing and moving them pretty close together, I could focus the meteor strike way more accurately. So I killed a quick brain and then invited some people to a call, and this is what happened.
Okay.
Alright, just take a nap with me. Just take a nap with me. Just wait. Lock in.
You died up there.
2 hours ago.
2 hours ago.
Alright, ready?
What is about to happen?
4.
Wait.
3.
Lord, don't.
2.
No. 3.
2.
No. 3.
Surely this works.
3.
You can't keep saying 3.
3. 2.
What is he counting down?
Alright, actually now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh my goodness.
Wait.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, how? He just sniped the
I don't
meteor.
know.
Platinum farm?
Bro, this took like 7 hours, bro. You better don't be asking questions, bro.
But how did you even do that?
So it took an insanely long time, but we finally got it done. I did cut out most of the parts of me like testing and just trying to get it in the right spot, but aiming the thing took like multiple hours, and then trying to get it to land at that spot also took multiple hours of searching for meteors and crap. I think we might still have a meteor on our world somewhere, unless that was a glitch. But yeah, now we can catch a meteor. And what is this for exactly? Just like money. Basically every 2 brains I kill, if I sell all the loot and mine up the meteor, I get a platinum, which is now my best way of getting money. Before it was the gnome farm, I'd get like 34 gold a day, but I can get 34 gold just from killing 2 brains, and then if I mine up the meteor, I'm getting a platinum now. Just pretty good. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video, so I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
What?